Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Anil, and today I'm doing a presentation on the Japanese culture. Japan, it is a country that's located in East Asia, and in Japanese language, Japan is called Nippon, and for the persons outside of Japan, it's called Land of the Rising Sun. And in this presentation today, I'm going to be talking about its food, tradition and cultural etiquettes, work culture, and differences between the Western and the Japanese work culture. So, talking about food, Japan is famous for its food culture. I think its single most popular export is sushi and bento box because I like them a lot. And there are a lot of foods in Japan as well. They are pretty much seasonal, and the quality of food and presentation is also important and for them. And Japanese people are known for their cleanliness as well. They they do not have any janitors or any cleaners in the school. They teach their students to clean the room, the building, and everything. And there was a popular incident in Russia in 2018. The Japanese team lost in that World Cup, but they still managed to clean the whole stadium. And talking about the Japanese work culture, it's hierarchical and it's more formal than what we are used to in the Western culture in Australia. So they respect their seniors a lot, and the all the powers are with the managers and the superiors. And I think it stems from the fact that Japan was once ruled by the samurai clan, so they follow a very strict code of conduct, and they are very disciplined, and yeah, as I said earlier, they like to follow the rules. And about Japanese work and etiquette, people, there are a lot of what do I say? Even the angles of bowing, they have the different steps. Even a slight bow is different to a 45-degree angle bow. And if you are on your knees, then it sounds like you're begging to the person in front of you. And there's less meritocracy in Japanese work culture, and they have high respect for their seniors, especially in the traditional Japanese workplace. And if you wanna go up in your career, then you can do nothing rather than just waiting your turn. I think it stems from the fact that they value the collective effort rather than an individual person. Japanese people, they don't like to be individualistic like in a Western culture. Uh, but nowadays it's changing a little bit. The new generations are trying to find their individual identity. And there's a popular tradition in Japan where you cannot leave home early when your managers are still working. It's very common in traditional Japanese companies. It'll mean a certain death if you leave early than your managers. So they have very long work hours, and there's even a term coined in Japan called karoshi, which means death from overwork. There are a lot of cases where people are overworked and they suffer from heart diseases, strokes, and some, in rare cases, people also commit suicide. So there have been, like last year, there's been 2,159 work-related deaths in Japan. So I'd say Japan is a very hardworking country to the point that they kill themselves. And other than that, Japan, you may feel like long hours will directly relate to productivity, but it's not. And you may think that they get a lot of time off after working a long hours, but it's not the case. They just get 10 days of annual leave, and most of them even don't take that because their managers or superiors are still working, and they don't want to create a burden for their team members. And it's very common in Australia to chuck in a sickie. Most probably you guys have done that as well, but it's very rare in Japan because if you take a sick leave, then the the sick leave will be deducted from your annual leave, and you will just end up with nothing at the end of the year. And you may think that working for a long time will relate to a very productive employee, but in reality, average Japanese worker is 2/3 often productive than an average American employee. So long hours doesn't relate to productivity. The long hours are usually spent in a like reading newspapers or just in a cool room. And Japanese corporations are divided into two sections: one white and a black companies. Black companies are traditional Japanese companies who like to employ a large number of employees and tend to overwork them without any extra pay, whereas white companies are the modern progressive companies. Uh, they even have a annual award for the most evil corporation of the year, so that they want to they want to eradicate the bad work culture that's prevalent in Japan. And even the Japanese government has been trying to enforce that. They have introduced a premium Friday scheme where the employees can get out of the office early around 3 p.m. at the end of the month, every Friday, the last Friday of each month, so that they can have a time off. But the funny thing is that even the housewives or the wives of the employees, they don't want them home because they don't think that they contribute to the household chores. They just lie at the house. And I don't know, it's just supposed to be the cultural thing. But we must be thankful that we don't have to work in that kind of setup. And we should be grateful that we're in Australia and we have Friday every week, not just at the end of the month. Thank you guys, and I hope you guys had a good time listening to my presentation.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions?
No, thanks.
My question is like, basically, where did you get the like statistics for Kalosh, the death by overwork?
I got it from some articles. It said that a NHK presenter committed suicide because she had been working for like 5 months and or continuous for 5 months, and because of the stress she committed suicide. So I was just reading some articles in the newspapers. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions?
Nope.
Yeah. That's all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.